Okay, I'm getting a little tired. You guys getting a little tired? Yeah, can we push through these last couple videos, last video or two, or three? I don't know. I actually don't know. Okay, cool. I promised we would just work until we got it built, but I'm starting to feel the heat a little bit here. Last lesson, we finished building our inputs, allowing our user to select an item from the menu and determine how many they'd like to order. Now, let's make sure that when they click the button, it submits their order and displays it on the screen. Let's also only display the order button if the user has selected a menu category and an item and all that stuff. Cool? Okay, so we're going to use one more cool thing about JSX that I learned from another instructional video a while back, and I really enjoy using it because of how simple it is. So just follow along with me here, and I think, again, this is going to be fine, but I just want to make sure that everybody's on board with me, okay? So the first thing we want to do is we're going to create a method here that's going to handle an event. What event do you think I'm talking about? Yeah, the button click. When we click this button, we want to handle the order submit. So right down here, I'm going to say handle order submit is equal to a method. And that method is going to do some stuff. Do some cool stuff. But before we do that, let me show you how we're going to conditionally render this button only if the user has selected some stuff. Oops, I don't want that. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say, hey, if this state menu item value does not equal none, we're going to say and display this button. Now that looks a little weird, right? You're like, what? What is going on here? And is supposed to mean that this thing is true and this thing is true. So I learned this from this guy named Steven Grider. He has these React courses on Udemy. Steven Grider, React, Udemy. And honestly, that's where I actually learned my first React stuff. Modern React with Redux from Udemy. You should check them out if you have. Just wait till Udemy has like a free course, or maybe ask somebody for $10 because they're usually like $10. I would never buy them unless they're $10 as a heads up. But his courses are fantastic. And he explained that this is what he told me. He said that this.state.menu.item value, if you check this is true, if it is true and you put and whatever the second thing is, it actually returns the second thing. So if this is false, it stops reading there and it's done and this doesn't display. But if this is true, it then returns the second thing as long as it is also true. And the second thing is just some JSX, so it's going to be true. It's going to be a truthy value. And so it'll display this only if the other stuff is true. The first thing is true, which is that the menu item value has been selected. So now we see no button. We click coffee. Next thing comes up. We click espresso. And now we can choose how many. And the order button is, ta-da, shown there. So what I want to do is first, let's give it some style. Now, if you want to give inline styles in React, you have to use these double squigglies. And that's because the first thing is saying, hey, we're going to write some JavaScript. And the second squiggly is saying this is an object holding the style. And I just want to make sure that it's a cursor so that when we click this button, it has a little pointy thingy showing us that we can click on it. And then I want it to say order as before, or submit, or whatever you want to say. But now all we need to do when we do this is we come here, and if this works, coffee, cafe latte. And if you scroll over it now, it's a little clicky option with the little pointer finger. I like that. Just looks nicer. We also need to add an on-click handler, and this is a new one. So whenever the user clicks this, we want to run our method here, which is handle order submit. And so on click, we'll say this.handle order submit. Cool. And if we do this, we can console.log in here, submitted. And cool, let's see if it works. Come in here, click, click, click. And then I go to my console. Order, submitted. Amazing. So now it's wired up and we're ready to do all this cool stuff here. Okay? Now we've explained a little bit about why conditionally renders is the way that JavaScript handles logical operators. If it evaluates the first one, and if it's true, the second one is also true, returns the second one. We're cool with that so far. We talked a little bit about event handlers in React, that whenever we give it this on click or on change, we then give it an event handler method which handles the synthetic React event. Cool, we've talked about all that stuff. And so we have it wired up, we have it working, and the last thing we need to do is when the user clicks this, we want to take all this information that React is holding right here. When we go to main, we see that React is holding all the information of all the options we've selected inside its state. All we need to do is we need to add that to our user's orders, right? We need to display that. Okay, so now that our state holds all the necessary information, we need to reformat it into an order object and then submit all the information to our app and have our app display it. Or just put it directly in the orders array right here. But at least in a way that the orders that it's expecting. Which I think when we said render order, the order item, the order should have what kind of data shape? It should have an object with the customer name and the items. Ooh, we probably need to wait for you know what? I'm just gonna make the customer name the same thing every time. I didn't think about that. I don't care at this point. We're just gonna make this thing work. You cool with that? Yeah. Yes, I agree. You know what? It is what it is. If you want to go in and you want to update it, make it look nicer, live your life. I will not tell you how to do. But we do need to update this handle order submit. So in here, we're going to grab everything inside the state. We don't actually need to give it an event because it doesn't matter. Once you click, we know that we're ready to submit things. So we're just going to say, hey, I'm going to grab the state object, I'm going to destructure it. So I'm going to say const equals this.state, and I'm going to grab the keys that I want. What do I need? I need to know what menu value, what menu they're grabbing it from, what menu item they want to buy, and how many they want to buy. So I need menu value, menu item value, and menu item amount value. Okay, so menu value, menu item value, and menu item amount value. And this is why destructuring is nice, because it would take me 3 lines of a lot of typing to get that, and instead I just put it on 1 line right here and I know exactly what destructuring is doing. So then I'm going to make a new order. I'm going to say const new order, and I'm going to set it equal to the customer's name. You know what? I actually have a better idea. Let's do it like this. Let's grab the orders array also from this, and let's say the customer is going to be, I'm going to use the template strings, little backticks above the tick symbol here. And I'm going to say order number, and I'm going to then interpolate in a variable here that's going to be the length of the orders array plus 1. And the reason I'm doing this is it'll say like order number 1, order number 2, order number 3, or whatever number it is. And that's actually an easier way to deal with it, so we don't have to take in the user's name. And then I'll add some items. And the items, oh, you know, we didn't have a way to do that, have them do multiple items. We're not. We're stopping early. We need a name and we need an amount, right? How do we structure amount? What do we say? AMT. Okay, so name and AMT. So the name is going to be menu item value, and the AMT, the amount, is going to be the menu item amount value. So we actually don't need the menu value, huh? Cool, let's get rid of it. We don't need it. Doesn't matter. And then we go bam. Amazing. So now we've created this new order object and we need to add it to the orders array. So how do we do that again? Someone remind me. Right, we need to this.setState. This.setState. Now in this case, I'm actually going to use, instead of just giving it an object, I'm going to use the first way we learned, which is by passing in a function, where we take in the previous state, and we're going to return a new object where the orders array, now it has the new order object we just put right there, new order in front, And then we're going to do something super weird that I've never showed you before, but I'm going to tell you what it is right now. We're going to say ... prev state .orders. Now you're looking at me like, what the hell is this? This is another ES6 trick that's super useful. Do you want me to explain to you what it's doing? No? You know what? Too bad. I'm explaining it anyway because we're basically done. After we do this, I think that's it. I honestly think that's it. This is the whole app. So let's just make sure I explain what this is doing, and then we'll talk in a second. This is another ES6 trick, and all this ES6 trick is saying is, I want you to take whatever orders we used to have, previous state.orders, and I want you to unpack them all. Now, what I mean when I say unpack them all is this ellipse, these 3 dots right here, it just takes all of the previous orders and then it grabs each one and it unpacks them in order. So if there were 3 orders, it would put the first one, then the second one, and then the third one, and it spreads them out. This is why it's known as the spread operator. These 3 dots, they're known as the spread operator. It spreads out all the corresponding key value pairs into a new object. Ta-da! So it creates this new orders array for us where the new order is in the front and then the rest of the orders are after it. And so when we display the array, it should be in the right order. I don't actually know. We might want to put this at the end. Might want to put it in the front. It doesn't matter. But after we've done that, we can go ahead and reset all of the other values back to their original value, right? So we can say, okay, let's reset the menu value to, actually, let's set it to whatever the menu value used to be. So maybe they want to order another thing. Menu value. Let's set the menu item value back to none. And let's set the menu item, what do we call this? Menu item amount value back to 1. Whew. You feeling it? You feeling the hurt? So at this point, if I click save, I know this video is long. I got you. If I click save and I come in here, should we watch it in action? Let's watch it in action. If our submit handler works, we should be able to see all of this stuff updated in the main pretty nicely, okay? So we click coffee. Great, it worked. We click drip coffee. No, we're going iced coffee because you know I love it. And we're gonna grab 3 of them. And then we're gonna click order. You ready for the moment of truth? Click. Oh, look at that. Order number 1, 3 iced coffees. Wow. And check it out, by the way. It then reset the item to menu, the menu item to coffee, and it lets us select another one. Espresso. 3. Order number 2. Oh, you're right. They're going in the wrong order. You're right. Let's go back and change that. So the new order should be after the previous state.orders. So do you see what happens? It takes all the old orders and it's going to put them in front, and the new orders, whatever the new order is, goes after it. So coffee, espresso, 1, great. Bakery, blueberry scone, 10, because I'm hungry. Oh, order 1, order 2. Absolutely amazing. I know my style could use a little bit of work, but this is a working app. Functionality-wise, we now have a way for our coffee shop to display all the orders. A user can select an order and it'll make them appear up here. I think we probably want to make all of these, what's it, text align left or whatever. I don't know why the order number 1 is doing that. Honestly, I haven't even checked the style. So, oh, okay, cool. Maybe this is big. I don't know. We can go in there. We can take a look at it. You know what? As a project, you guys go in and figure out what's going on in here. Check it out. Look at all these order items. Figure out what's wrong with them. See if you can fix it. Make it look fly. You guys have done fantastic. This is absolutely amazing. Now, we didn't take care of a few things, and I think that'd be fun for you to work with. We're only letting the user order one thing at a time. It's probably not the best way to handle this. Might make more sense to instead create a shopping cart that we can place each order item into and then let the user check out. We could also tally up the price for each item based on the amount of items the user ordered and create a receipt for each order. That wouldn't be too complicated. I can show you how to do both these things if you're interested, but right now, we've been going for so long, it's time to end this. Congratulations, this is only scratching the surface of what React can do, but we'll do this again sometime soon. Hope you enjoyed.